Say that you a baller. You lame, can't play this game. Step up to the plate, cause you say that you a baller. At the top, this is how I rock.
Welcome into another episode of The Rebound. Courtney Cox here alongside Darren Hartwell. And a sad episode, because it's our last one of 2017.
I know, I take the blame for this one.
You should, because we could have done one next week, but Darren here has bigger, better plans.
Got some vacation days stored up, and I waited until the end of the year, so I'm using them, taking the last week off, so it'll be nice. Got Christmas through New Year's off, and I'm excited for a little rest, but I will obviously be missing the rebound. I'll be thinking about it, while I'm on vacation.
Absolutely, but it is exciting. We were just talking about, he has like fun work stuff. This Sunday, we're both on Pats, so we get to be together that day. And then your second day back?
Yeah, January 3rd.
Celtics Cavs.
Big time.
Together again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to be taking over Nesson on the road,
We will.
So that'll be great.
Any big plans for your New Year's, Christmas Eve?
Got a few things still figuring them out, some last-minute plans. Might be going to Lake Placid.
Oh, I like it.
Up in upstate New York. Going to be very cold, but probably maybe some skiing involved, some general merriment. So that'd be fun.
Love it. Love the holidays. I am battling the plague right now. If you can't tell by my voice, producer Marc has called it my Jordan flu game. So this is where we're at today. It's a beautiful Thursday here in New England.
We're getting through it.
But we're going to get through it, and we're going to give you the show of your dreams. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at the league as a whole. Eastern Conference, obviously we have to talk about the Celtics. Kind of nervous. They're still leading the Eastern Conference, but they're 4-4 in the last 8. Hate to say it because I thought I was their good luck charm. Witnessed their first loss in person last night. And I thought that they were going to pull out the win. Kyrie had the ball, 6.2 seconds left to go. I tweeted a GIF right before it. I was like, 6.2 seconds, Miami up 90-89. Celtics have the ball, and it was a GIF of Kyrie dancing. Yeah.
Maybe if you'd pronounced it GIF, then they would have won.
I think it's GIF. Is it a GIF?
Well, there's a debate on that. There's research
GIF,
on both sides.
I'm GIF.
Yeah, I would say I'm Team GIF.
Okay,
That's a debate for another time.
That's neither here nor there.
Yes.
But so they lost last night, 90-89, the final score. Sad loss, I thought. There was a lot of aspects to it. It was a weird game. Danielle Tice was like questionable on social media, but then Brad Stevens right before the game said no, he's good to go. Wore a nice face mask. Yeah,
the Celtics are the team of the masks this year. A lot of facial guards going on. But I think it was a tough loss, and the Heat have their number. They're 2-0 against the Celtics this year. But kind of narrowed the gap a little bit in the Eastern Conference. So you look at the Raptors now on a 4-game win streak, and they're just 2.5 games back of the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, right ahead of the Cavs. The Cavs playing really well. They've won, I think it's 18 of their last 20, which is pretty remarkable to think of. But it's competitive at the top of the East. You have those three teams essentially separated by 3 games, so tight up at the top.
Well, 5 teams, 4 through 8 seeds, separated by just 1 game: Pacers, Bucks, Wizards, Pistons, and Knicks. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy when you look at the whole Eastern Conference. But then you go on, and you wonder, can any of these teams break the mold? You talk about 1 games, which isn't much. Yeah. But can any of these teams become one of the top 3, or can any of these teams fall to the bottom where you can't really pull yourself out? Except the Bulls. We'll get to the Bulls when we talk about it.
It is interesting. I think that top 3, it looks like right now, is pretty locked in with the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Raptors. Maybe the Raptors falter a little bit, but the Cavs and Celtics, I think, are pretty solid 1-2. I think the Pacers are an intriguing team. We'll get into that Celtics-Pacers game, but Victor Oladipo is just playing out of his mind right now. Domantas Sabonis actually playing well too. That Paul George trade not looking so bad after all. Yeah. I think the Pacers maybe can get away from the pack a little bit and maybe be that 4 seed, at least get themselves, obviously it's way too early, but, top 4, get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So I like them to maybe emerge from that jumble. Obviously have the Bucks, who just beat the Cavs, and Giannis, if they can get their act together, Giannis is a transcendent talent. So I think those 2 teams are probably the teams I would be watching.
All right, now let's talk about the Western Conference. Lakers snap Rockets. 14-game win streak, 122-116 was the final score there.
Yeah.
The beard, fear the beard. You still should fear the beard, but Lakers took care of it.
Yeah, he had, I think it was 53 points.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, he has, I think he has something absurd, like 4 of the top 6 scoring performances in the NBA this season. He's playing at another level, but credit to the Lakers. They hung with it, kind of a big win for them. They went to overtime against the Warriors the other night, and then here they are beating the Rockets. And, as we talk about the Western Conference, Warriors and Rockets still going neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that, Golden State just ran off 10 straight victories. They're 25-6 now, and they're still behind the Rockets because the Rockets are just a cut above. But I'm fascinated to see that battle, Rockets Warriors, going back and forth all season.
While we're on the topic of the Rockets, we will talk about Kardashian new baby,
Yes.
NBA baby later on in the show.
Yes.
But James Harden, they always say that the Kardashians have this curse on NBA players. It's like the Kardashian curse. Tristan Thompson, we really haven't talked about him much in the world of basketball.
Yeah.
James Harden went through a little bit of a slump. Said goodbye to Chloe. He's on the up and up.
Yeah.
So it might be real.
My interesting thing is, what if the Rockets make the NBA Finals and then play the Cavs, and then you have Chloe, the whole X Factor with literally X Factor with Tristan and James Harden. Fascinating stuff.
Truthfully, fascinating. But the same deal in the West, 5 through 8 seeds separated by 1 game. Blazers, Thunder, Nuggets, Pelicans. Any surprise there?
I'd say the Pelicans are maybe overperforming a little bit, or maybe not overperforming because they have Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. That's a pretty dynamic duo on the front court. But yeah, they're starting to come along a little bit, and despite the persistent Anthony Davis rumors, it seems like the trade rumors are still out there. As comments, Adrian Wojnarowski had the report about Davis a couple of years earlier this season. Not necessarily being happy with where the Pelicans are, but he just wants to win and he wants to get to the playoffs. And right now, they're in the playoffs. They'd be the 8th seed. So maybe if they can get a little bit of momentum going, they can, because all those teams are so close together, it only takes a couple of wins for them to get, to the 5 seed. So I think they're a team to watch, maybe.
All right, let's talk about some injuries that you should all be watching. Steph Curry.
Yep.
Someone that no NBA fan really wants to see hurt, because if you're playing Golden State, you want to play Golden State.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is a big part of that. So I would say, maybe they're not as good without Steph Curry, but you still want to play him. So he's likely out Christmas Day against the Cavs. Talk about a matchup for Christmas Day. Fans everywhere excited for that one. I know I'll be tuning in. I'm sure you will as well. But he was injured on December 4th versus the Pelicans, the ankle injury that was kind of graphic. You and I both said it looked really bad.
Yes.
They said that it's healing well.
Yeah, I think in this case, he probably could be good to go. Maybe if Christmas Day was like Game 7 in the NBA Finals, I think he'd be out there.
Still a big game, though.
Yeah, but it's still a big game. But I think regular season, I think they're fine. Especially, they've won 10 games in a row. And you saw in that they actually played the Grizzlies the other night, and a bunch of players out, and the bench played really well. They had guys like Patrick McCaw and Nick Young stepping up and getting the job done. But so I think if I was the Warriors, there's no real incentive to rush him back. Still have Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. Draymond Green's been battling some injuries, but I think they'll be fine without him. At some point you got to bring him back, get him ramped up a little bit, and he's a competitor. He's not going to take it well if he's healthy and just sitting out. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's just they should take the err on the side of caution.
And it's actually been true what Steve Kerr said when this initially happened, where he said, it'll ultimately be good for us to show our bench and to show, that other people can step up to the plate, which they have.
Yeah, it's working. They've won 10 in a row.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But another injury that's pretty big, Joel Embiid, likely out for Philly for the next 2 with a back injury. This stat's kind of crazy. They're 1-6 without Embiid.
Yeah.
This injury is going to hurt them. Trust the process. I'm not trusting the process without Embiid.
No, I totally agree. I think if they want to make the playoffs, he needs to be healthy. He needs to be in there. He had some comments too. He wasn't really happy with, kind kind of the process, I guess you could say, or how they've treated him. He's been on a minutes restriction, and he's kind of hinted at, I'm a little bit out of shape. It takes me a little bit to catch up to speed because I'm not getting the minutes. I get his point there, but also, if you're looking at his back injury now, it's kind of like, all right, well, there's a reason why we're keeping him on a minutes restriction. He has these ailments, he has these things he's dealing with. And the most important part of the season that you want him healthy for is, March and April and into May. So it's a tricky situation, but I think right now
it's also a back injury. You don't want to mess with something like that.
Yes, exactly. Back injuries can be pretty finicky, and I think just like the Warriors, I mean, it's not comparing the two, but like the Sixers have to figure out how to win without Embiid. Maybe this helps Ben Simmons. He grows even more. He's having a great rookie season, or first season in the NBA, and you're going to have to have other guys step up.
All right, well, Isiah Thomas, someone near and dear to New England's heart. He's been out for the Cavs all season long. We're looking for a first week in January return, which would mean he's back at the Garden playing.
So I'm picturing Isiah Thomas having a little calendar in his room, and he's got one date circled in red marker on that calendar, and it's January 3rd for Celtics Cavs. I think he actually said Wednesday. He said I might return sometime next week, and he actually got assigned to the G League, their G League team, today, Thursday, to the Canton Charge. So he's going to go and practice there. So he's getting on the court. But yeah, I think that's all part of his plan. If the Cavs sign off on it, is he wants to be back in 2018 for the new year. Maybe he comes back a game before they play Portland, the day before they play the Celtics. So maybe he gets back even earlier. But yeah, I think he's going to do everything he can to be on the floor, especially since it's at Boston. He's going to want to.
Yeah, and I have this feeling that he's also going to put on an absolute show.
Yeah,
if he's back.
We'll get into this, but
Kelly
former
Olynyk,
Celtics have been torching.
It's been unbelievable.
It's pretty crazy. Revenge games all over the place. Back
to last night, Kelly Olynyk got honored as the hero among us. They do Heroes Among Us every Celtics home game, and it's usually a fan, somebody who's either served in the military, started a charity, stuff like that. So Kelly Olynyk was the hero among us last night, just because he did so much community service work. He was always out and about, but Brad Stevens talked about it before the matchup. Here's what he had to say.
I think it's great. Kelly was really active in the community. He's a great guy. He obviously played great for us, and was a person that I really enjoyed being around every day. So I think that's a fun way to honor him, because it really is. It's bigger than what you do on the court, and he embraced that. And I thought he lived that out well. It wasn't just talk. It wasn't just when the cameras were on. He was out all the time. And having young kids myself, he was as engaged in them as anybody, and you appreciate people that really think about the impact that they can make on their community in that platform, and he does it as well as anybody.
So obviously he was going to be asked about that before the game. I think he knew that. Everybody in the scrum knew that. But he had nothing but great things to say about Kelly. And I think anybody who witnessed the Celtics last year, both on and off the court, would only have good things to say about him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, some people weren't the hugest fans of, on the court. Sometimes he's a frustrating player, but I think off the court, he's a great guy, like you said, very involved in the community. And but yeah, I think Celtics fans probably didn't appreciate him coming back and just going off. He looked like
he started slow too. He didn't look great in the beginning.
But in the fourth quarter, he's flying into the air and dunking on Jaylen Brown and Kyrie Irving. And then if you're a Celtics fan, you're like, where the heck was this last year?
Exactly.
And knocking down threes. That's been in his repertoire, but he was just feeling it.
Yeah, but Stevens also said, because somebody said, you've watched him with this new team. Anything that you think is different about him? And he said, they're utilizing him way better, and they're doing things with him that I wish I would have done with him. So I think everybody's noticing the difference in his play now with Miami. But Miami had ended the Celtics win streak, and now they come to Boston and they beat us again.
Yeah.
So we're 0-2 against the Heat.
Career high 32 points, too, for Olynyk.
Yeah, he was feeling himself last night.
12 of 15 shooting. So, yeah, just knocking everything down. But yeah, despite that, Celtics still had a chance at the end of the game. You know, you saw it was another Celtics comeback. You know, they were down by a good chunk of points in the final minute, and you know, got some shots. I think Jaylen Brown hit a big three. They kind of just hung around, made some plays, and then they're there at the end of the game. So I think that's a good sign, just like what we saw with the with the Pacers game the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another weird part of the game was Al Horford fouling out. He was heated.
I would be too.
He was so mad. He is a very soft-spoken guy, mostly. I thought he was going to flip a table or like throw chairs or something. He was so mad. And then even after the game, you know, he was asked about it and he was back to his calmness. But he said, I don't remember the last time I've fouled out of a game. He's like, I don't know if I ever have.
Yeah, and he fouled out pretty early too. It
Yeah.
wasn't like in the final minute or anything like that. So yeah, that he's one of their most important players. So not having him down the stretch for that last stretch run, I think, you know, hurt them. But at least they were able to hang around.
It's also funny listening to fans sitting around you. There was a guy sitting behind me, and you could tell that he just like missed that whole part of the game. And he's like, "Put Horford in. What are you doing, Stevens? Like, you're such an idiot." I'm like,
Yeah.
Are we watching the same game?
That's why they're in the stands and the coach is on the bench.
Exactly. But yeah, so it was an interesting game. Ex-Celtics coming into the Garden or playing them on the road and absolutely destroying them. I think there's a lot of passion too when you're playing your old team that you wanted. There was one point Olynyk synced a three and looked directly at the coaching staff, and Stevens looked like he had said something, but kind of like fell back. It was funny. It looked kind of cute and playful, but
yeah, you love that. Yeah, I mean, you don't love that if you're a Celtics fan, but it's all part of the competition. And yeah, you know, you mentioned Jonas Jerebko coming in here, or you know, that game against the Jazz, season high 17 points against the, you know, if you thought Jonas Jerebko was going to drop 17 points, I mean, even Jordan Mickey played well last night in limited minutes. So you just had these guys coming in. Avery Bradley, his numbers haven't been that great, but he double digits in both of his former games against the Celtics this season for Detroit. So yeah, revenge games for the Celtics. Biting them a little bit. Well,
Marcus Smart has also noticed that this has been happening to them. Here's what he had to say after the game. NSFW language.
You know, they play hard. You know, they got a lot of guys who can play. And like I said, they don't give up. And you got a team that, you know, doesn't really care who scores the ball, and they just went out there and play freely. It's tough.
How tough is it to play against former teammates? Because like in the Utah game, Jonas had one of his best games. Tonight, Kelly had a career-high 32. How much of a challenge is it to see those old teammates? Because they come at you guys really with everything they got.
I mean, by this point, we shouldn't even be surprised. You know, there's just a competitive nature in every last one of us. You know, you leave a team, and you want to prove to that team that, you know, for whatever reason, you know, that you should still be there. And that's everybody. So I don't know why we're surprised about it. You know, Kelly kicked our ass. Jonas kicked our ass. You know, we let those guys do that. Like I said, if this isn't a wake-up call for us, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, kind of like that out of Marcus Smart. Wake-up call, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, this is still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference right now, first place. But, you know, as we mentioned before, 4-4 in their last 8 games. I think something to notice is just how many games they played. Their stretch of schedule right now. They have that London game coming up early in January, and they kind of have to squeeze a bunch of games in because they're going away for a week. I think they have one game in the span of a week. So they played 34 games right now, which is more than any other team in the NBA, and they still have 9 games in their next 14 days. So this isn't gonna slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, Marcus Smart looked pissed after the game too, like the hood on, everything. But I do think when you're talking about schedule and you're playing back-to-back games, they play the Knicks tonight. There's no, I hate to say it, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no like, oh well, we've got 3 days off coming up, or there's no break for them, which is hurting them in the long run because they are kind of beat up and they look tired.
Well, I think the biggest thing too is Brad Stevens mentioned this a few days ago, is that, you know, they haven't been able to practice, and I think that's even a big thing. It's not so much just having days off for rest purposes, I guess practices are kind of rest, but you get to regroup a little bit and get on the court and actually go through the stuff that you worked on. Film session is one thing, but to actually walk through what's going on, that can help diagnose some things. So I think Brad said I'm looking forward to December 30th because that's our next practice.
Right.
And it's kind of funny at the time because he said it before Christmas. And he's like, what are you looking forward to? Oh, December 30th.
Well, they play Christmas Day, so it's not really like they have it.
He doesn't really have an option there. But yeah, I think it's a test for them this next stretch. But once they get through that, then the schedule eases up a lot, and maybe that'll be beneficial to them going down the stretch. Who knows?
But the trip to London, I mean, they only play one game in that, obviously, and they're there for a week. But still, you're traveling overseas.
Right.
There's a lot of other things that play into it.
Right.
Also to note about last night, no Marcus Morris, so that's also somebody that they're missing. Huge guy who gets points on the board for them.
Yep.
Also, Jason Tatum went down with a gross finger dislocation. I originally thought it was his left hand because he was his right hand was over his left when he was leaving the court, but it was his right pinky. And it was funny him talking to Jaylen Brown when he came back on the court. He's like, all of a sudden I went down, and it was like, and I was like, ooh, like, oh, perfect. That's exactly
a couple kids talking about, hey, guess what, man? You see my finger?
That? It was gross.
So nasty.
Yeah, but he had this two-handed dunk that was on fire after, because I was saying, Kyle Draper was saying next to me, I said, is that going to affect him? His fingers taped together. He's like, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. And it did. The first shot he got off looked kind of weird, but then the two-handed dunk, I was like, yeah, okay, he's good. Yeah,
fortunately, it's the pinky, so you can kind of, you saw him had the two fingers wrapped, and then it doesn't really, a lot of your shooting stroke is, off of the middle finger, the three fingers over here, so you can kind of get away with it a little bit. So, hopefully, it sounds like he's optimistic about it that it won't be a serious thing for him.
All right. Well, moving on into other parts of the NBA. This is an international, interesting story.
Yes.
Turkey wants Knicks Enes Kanter in jail 4 years for dissing their president. He, a few months back, got
this is back in May.
in Istanbul. His passport was something, and he was restrained there. He was obviously let back to the U.S., but he was labeled kind of like a terrorist.
Yeah, so this is their president, Erdogan, I think is how you pronounce it. I might be pronouncing that wrong, so apologies to the Turkey. I don't want to get thrown in jail. But and he was pretty critical of the president. Went on like a little rant in a video, a Twitter video. Called him the Hitler of our century. Pretty heavy stuff. And so I guess the Turkish authorities did not like that, and at the time they detained him and put a warrant out for his arrest, and now they're kind of ramping things up. It looks like they kind of created an indictment, and they're pressing charges against him and everything. So kind of a wild situation.
Which is kind of crazy if you look at the U.S. in the things that people say about our president and vice versa. It's like the fact that a country can indict somebody off a Twitter video is over there. Absolutely incredible, but also kind of scary. I know early on he's like, if I got put in jail there, I'd be dead in however many days, which is very scary and very serious.
Yeah, it was, I guess, kind of I guess you could say a good sign. He was asked about it on Wednesday, and that the news that Turkey wants him to put him in prison for 4 years, and he said, I was like, oh, 4 years? That's it? Only 4 years? All the trash I've been talking, I said, I promise you guys, it doesn't really bother me a little, even one bit. So it sounds like he's kind of, this isn't anything new to him. He knows the political climate over there. He knows that they put their foot down on this sort of stuff. So hopefully. So I think that if they try him, or if the thing goes to trial, he's still going to be in the U.S. playing for the Knicks. So it'd be, the trial would go on without him. So it's kind of unclear how this is all going to play out. But
right. I think he is trying to become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
All right. So probably the biggest news of the week, the sit down between Magic and Isiah. This thing had me.
It was
What's
pretty
the
emotional.
word?
It got heavy.
What's the word? Captivated. I was captivated by it.
I agree
to
with
watch two huge basketball names sit down across from each other and cry, actual tears.
Oh, they were real tears.
It was the most real thing I think I've ever seen on TV. Well, probably the most real thing I've seen this year on TV.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was so well done. They embraced for so long. I thought it was moving beyond belief.
Yeah, so I mean, and so a little background here, Magic and Isiah Thomas, the original Isiah Thomas, have some long-standing beef.
Used to be besties.
Yep, they used to be best friends. There was rumors that Magic got Isiah kicked off the All-Star team, or the Team USA too. There was some situation there. There was some slander going back and forth.
Magic didn't visit Isiah's son when he was born.
Yeah. There's stuff involving Magic's, HIV situation. There's all sorts of stuff going back and forth. They basically, their friendship just deteriorated, and here they are, just basically hashing it out. And this was a short part of a longer sit down. They talked about all sorts of stuff, but it seems like they finally were able to bury the hatchet. So yeah.
And it was interesting when Magic was talking and he said, my family, everybody's been telling me we need to do this. So it was sad to hear, you're best friends with somebody for so long, you've shared so much together. And it was also cool to hear him say, whoever dreamed these big dreams and then watch them come a reality, kind of. I mean, that wasn't the exact quote, but it's true. These two guys on top of the world, and to have, some beef with each other. And I'm sure a lot of it was telephone. It was like, oh, I heard he said this about you. I heard he did this.
Exactly.
But I thought it was so well done, and there was nothing extra around it. It was just two guys talking, which I loved it.
Yeah, we got to get some more. I think hopefully there's some more of these, guys who have been mortal enemies.
Who would you like to see sit down across from each other? And
oh, man.
Kyrie and LeBron.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I don't know about, right now.
Yeah.
3 years out.
Maybe get KD and Westbrook in the same room.
Oh, that'd be
a good one, too.
Yeah,
we can, there's a list.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
NBA, if you want two people to give you some ideas, you know where to find us. All right, well, it's our annual time to talk about LaVar Ball. So he's starting his own basketball league.
Yeah, he's going for it.
I can't take this. I'm so tired right now. I'm so sick, and I don't want to talk about LaVar Ball.
All right, so let's talk about LaVar Ball.
He's just so much. He's so extra.
Yeah, and this is another, you gotta, I guess in the one sense, you gotta just, he really goes out on a limb and he makes some, he kind of forges his own path, and we'll see if this works out. So I guess the details, it's called the Junior Basketball Association, and it's gonna be for high school stars who don't want to play in college, who just want to skip, and you can't go to the pros because you need to go to college for at least 1 year right now under the current rules. So LaVar's theory is that they're just going to go play for the Junior Basketball Association, and he'd pay them. It'd be all funded by the Big Baller brand. They'd have to wear all his gear.
Oh, shocking!
Yeah, they'd pay between $3,000 and $10,000 per month, which I feel like the Big Baller brand is gonna run out of money very quickly if they do that. And I think the funniest part is the logo is a silhouette of Lonzo dunking. And so Lonzo's in the NBA. He's no relation. Yeah, went to college, right? And Ball's explanation for that, he's like, we don't need a logo of a guy dribbling. Nobody does that anymore. So people still dribble, as far as I can tell in basketball.
Have to. They actually have to do that.
It's required.
Yeah.
But I am a little skeptical just because,
I'm confused. I have some questions. So how many teams are in this league?
So there are 10 teams, and they want to get 80 players.
He wants to pay 80 players between $3,000 and $10,000 a month.
Yeah, he's going to have to do some accounting work for that. And the ironic part is that LaMelo and LiAngelo aren't in it because he signed them up to play in Lithuania. So, the idea, this idea has been thrown out in other sports too, kind of like a semi-pro league where you cut out the collegiate level just because of all the corruption on the collegiate level with the NCAA benefiting off of likenesses of players, and the players don't see any money. So I think that's the idea. I guess the sentiment is good, but the execution. Look, the NBA could just change the rule and go back to high school players just going straight to the NBA, because that's in a lot of cases, if you look at a program like Kentucky, that's what it is. They just go there and they play in college for a year, but it's just college. It's just like basically a feeder school.
It's like Calipari's camp.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. So I think in the long term, unless there's some, I
also don't know any kid who's like, oh, I don't want to go to college.
Well, I think if the money would be tempting. If they offered. If you're a kid and, you're a high school star and someone's going to pay you $10,000 a month, then maybe you consider it. But obviously the most important part is getting exposure. So you have to be playing, the competition has to be good throughout. It has to be great throughout.
And you're a superstar in college. If you're going to play at Kentucky and you're 18 years old, you are the man on campus.
And you're going to get a lot more visibility
than,
you would playing anywhere else. But, other players do. Some players go overseas right after high school. They don't go to college. So it's like another option. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of effort. He talks a big game. We all know that. We're gonna have to see how he backs it up.
All right, let's talk winners and losers of the week. I will go first with my winner, which is the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Who are the worst team in their conference, but they're on a win streak, a very good win streak. They do play the Cavs tonight, so that may be coming to an end.
Ever since Nikola Mirotic came back.
But I don't know, this team, and Twitter loves this team because it's like they're bad, but now they're trending upwards and they're good.
It's just like a bunch of kind of misfits.
Right.
And they weren't expected to be good, and they're just...
and I love that.
Yeah.
I love a misfit group.
Yep. Yeah, they're coming together all right.
Yeah. All right, so that's my winner for the week. Yours?
I am going with Isiah Thomas's two children. I don't know if people have seen this yet, but he dropped the Book of Isiah, which is his new video documentary. Pretty riveting stuff as a whole. Behind the scenes in the Celtics Cavs trade, you get to see the moment where he gets traded. But the best part, or at least the funniest part, was one of Isaiah's sons, Jaden, his youngest son. They're at the dinner table, and we're talking about Kobe retiring, and Jaden chimes in talking about Kobe, and is he old? And then he's like, no, he's not that old. And then Jaden goes, he's not fat like Shaq though.
Like it's perfect.
Yeah, and he just calls out Shaq, and they kind of have both of their reactions to the trade are very different too. So it's just kind of funny to see them, how they react to their dad going to Cleveland. It's pretty
Kids
funny
say
stuff.
the darndest things.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, my loser for the week is the Atlanta Hawks fans. They've lost a lot of games recently. To be certain, 5 of 6, and they had a fan throw up in the stands. It was
lunch.
On TV. It was a lot of throw up too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was not just like a dribble.
No, it was...
no pun intended.
Yeah, nice.
It was a lot. And I hate that we're even showing it because I feel really bad for this poor woman who threw up on national TV. But
it was gross.
The video is gross. Don't go look for it because it's disgusting. It's actually funny. There was a woman walking up the stands at the Celtics game last night, not saying she was intoxicated, but not saying she wasn't. She was stumbling up the stairs and threw up everywhere. Up the stairs. So this happens at more than
Gotta keep your head on a swivel if you're at an NBA locker room.
On a Wednesday night, turning up.
Yeah.
Your loser.
Yeah, my loser, Evan Turner. Former Celtic. We love him here, but the Blazers have lost their last 2 games. That's not his biggest concern right now because he had a semi-truck in his swimming pool. So I guess he's right below kind of a sharp turn in Portland, and a truck veered off of the road and crashed into his swimming pool in the backyard. Pretty wild stuff. Apparently the driver was okay. They were able to get some rescue teams out there and pull him out. But if you look at that picture.
Yeah, it's a great backyard too. It looks like it's, well kept.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides the truck.
He's going to need to do some landscaping to get that back. Yeah.
And if you're listening to us and not watching us, make sure to go check that out because you won't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we have that on NESN.com, so
yes, we
check it out.
All right, social time. First and foremost, the biggest story in the world right now.
Yes.
Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson announced that they are having a baby.
Yep.
Everybody knew that this was happening, so that's why I'm confused that Khloe had to go on a legitimate 3 perfect paragraph explanation about being nervous about posting this. Everyone knew she was pregnant.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's big.
Do you keep up with the Kardashians?
Not really,
But, like,
personally.
enough.
But enough. She's involved in, or they're involved in enough like sports stuff that you kind of like.
That is my least favorite boy or girl like explanation. Like, oh well, they're involved in sports, so that's why I pay attention to them.
I'm in my own little bubble sometimes.
I guess.
But yeah, I mean, look, they're everywhere. It's hard to
I keep
ignore
up
them.
hard with the Kardashians, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get ripped apart on comments, but I don't care.
Oh, no, it's well, if you want to pull it back to sports, Tristan Thompson also commented on her post, and giving her a little shout out, said, "Girl, you look better now." So good boyfriend right there, faithful boyfriend. So.
Fiance? No, boyfriend.
I think they're just boyfriend and girl. We don't
She
want
does
to
have a
break that
huge
story.
rock. Yeah, we're not breaking any stories, but
Yeah.
she does have a big ring.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
That'll be a sick wedding. Maybe we'll get invited
Yeah, maybe.
for the Rebound.
Yep.
Like the royal wedding, but for basketball.
The Rebound correspondence.
Yeah.
Wedding correspondence.
Okay, your turn.
Yeah. So I think this is not as good of a social media situation here. Charlie Villanueva, former basketball player, literally had his toilet stolen. And if you look at that picture there, that's a clean steal. Like someone with plumbing experience came in and uninstalled that toilet and took it away.
Why the toilet, though?
Little NSFW there, but also a poop pun as well, unintentional. But yeah, he, the Dallas PD, he was waiting a while for them to get their act together, and he's not happy. He kept tweeting at him, and I think as of today, the latest update is that he still is toiletless. So first of all, you got to wonder, what kind of alternative methods he's got the porta potty.
He's got more than one toilet in his house.
Yeah. No, I think Charlie Villanueva is just living in like a one bedroom, one apartment.
One bath.
But yeah, what he's gonna do to get the bottom of this, whether he's gonna, maybe this is like.
I think it's a prank.
You think so?
Who goes into an NBA player's house and takes the toilet?
Someone
not like
someone who needs a toilet.
The jewelry or the sneakers or the really nice flat screens or the technology.
Maybe he has a very like this is the best toilet on the market, and Charlie Villanueva has it, and he's gonna get it.
I think it's gonna come out that it's a prank. Mark my words.
Okay, agree to disagree.
All right, moving on. Kevin Durant is chilling with two Kobe Bryant puppets.
Yeah, this is at the Lakers before the Lakers retirement ceremony. That's an awesome picture.
It is an awesome picture.
The face, kind of just chilling there, and then he delivered a dagger late in the game too to beat them in overtime. So good night for KD.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Final social media thing here. This
2017.
I know. Going out with a bang. Devin Booker, the Suns, if he ever wins an NBA championship, he's getting a customized fanny pack courtesy of The Rock.
Amazing.
So we have this little back and forth here. Devin Booker, or the Suns tweeting at The Rock on Devin Booker's behalf, and then The Rock tweets back, about some jewelry and all that, and then finally the deal here: if he holds up the O'Brien Trophy, he's going to get a personalized fanny pack courtesy of The Rock. Going back to that old school picture with him rocking the fanny pack. So yeah,
I like it.
I like it. It might be a long time before that is realized, if ever. But hopefully someone is saving that tweet. I know we at the Rebound will be saving this tweet.
That is archived.
Yep. If Devin Booker ever wins an NBA championship, we got to get that up there. We're gonna
make sure it happens.
At The Rock.
Yep.
Yep. And we'll make that happen.
All right. Well, that will do it for 2017, The Rebound. We will be at the Celtics-Cavs game on January 3rd. That's when Darren and I will be reunited.
Yep.
It'll be so exciting, and hopefully we'll both be healthy.
That's right. We're gonna go into the new year feeling great,
fired up,
rejuvenated.
recharged.
Yeah, recharged, rejuvenated, and maybe the Celtics will too.
Hopefully. But we hope you all have a great New Year, safe New Year.
Yes.
And thanks so much for tuning in. Whatever you celebrate, happy holidays, and we will see you next time. For Darren Hartwell, I'm Courtney Cox.
Walking on eggshells, barefoot, trying to reach my reservoir. Stole my style, need to pay me back. Crazy brainiac, made me turn into an animaniac. Say that you a baller.